that's coming in. And it's called a motor neuron. The motor neuron has an axon that comes in, that's the yellow thing, and then it becomes the axon terminal, also yellow. It comes in close proximity to the sarcolemma of the muscle cell, and you'll notice that it has all these little convolutions going up and down and up and down. Well, that's called the motor end plate. The motor end plate is in close proximation to the axon terminal. They don't touch, but they get really close to each other. You see the white part between the axon terminal and the motor end plate? There's a little white space. Oh, sorry, here it is, the little white space. That little white space is the synaptic cleft, the space in between the axon terminal and the motor end plate. Axon terminal, part of the nerve, motor end plate, part of the skeletal muscle, cell, fiber. And action potential comes down the axon from the nerve cell body, and it spreads across the axon terminal, the guy in yellow. When it does, calcium voltage gated channels open up, the calcium comes in, tells the little synaptic vesicles to fuse with the plasma membrane along the synaptic cleft, drops the acetylcholine into the synaptic cleft, it makes its way over, and it binds to the receptors on the motor end plate, the acetylcholine receptors. These are ligand-gated receptors because they need acetylcholine to change shape.
Where's the motor end plate again?
All these little squiggles, those are the motor end plate, and they're part of the sarcolemma. Remember when I draw my beautiful animation up on the board and I have all those squiggles? That's the motor end plate.
So that slide that you showed that had the axon was the myelin sheath there,
Yeah, you can see it.
and that's where in MS they have issues
Yes,
right, with the myelin
because
sheath.
what happens is the myelin sheath, antibodies in their bodies, in MS patient bodies, sometimes they will recognize the myelin sheath as foreign, and they'll go in and they'll just tear it up.
And that affects the axon.
That affects the axon. Because the reason that you have the myelin sheath is it's an insulator. So the action potential is electrical activity. As it's speeding down, it'll start to dissipate if it doesn't have these myelin sheaths covering it. So this cell is a Schwann cell. And basically all it's done is it's wrapped its body around and around and around and around so that you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers where it has wrapped its own body, cell plasma membrane, around and around and around. Like if you took this thing and you had a tube of toothpaste and you wrapped it around and around and around and around. Its little nucleus is sitting out here because everything gets compressed. There's very little space in between those layers of cell membrane, plasma membrane. So that's the myelin sheath. What else is on your list? Mitochondria. See all these little red things?
So they're all over.
They're all over the place. Muscles need lots and lots of energy. So you need a lot of mitochondria to supply that energy.
It looks like it's mostly in between each.
Remember, the nucleus got pushed out of the way because of all the myofibrils. So do all the other organelles.
So it's in between each myofibril.
Yeah. See how they surround the myofibrils? What else? Fascicles. I don't have a model of fascicles. Fascicles are what? Just know the definition. Fascicles are bundles of fiber, skeletal muscle fiber cells. So if I had 4 or 5 of these, right, and I put one here, one here, one here, one here, and I wrapped them all up, that would be a fascicle or a bundle. And what's the connective tissue around that fascicle? Perimysium. What's this one again? Around a single
Endo.
Endo.
And then if I take a bunch of fascicles and I stack them all together and wrap them up, that connective tissue is called what?
Epi.
Epimysium. Epi's on the outermost.
Ah.
So I don't have a picture or a figure or a model, but I can ask you a question. The connective tissue layer wrapped around a fascicle of skeletal muscle fibers is a perimycete. It's called perimycete.
The perimycete wraps around the vesicle.
Fascicle.
Vesicle. Sorry.
A lot of words. You guys are gonna be so smart when you're done. I'm gonna
If
learn
it
you so much.
sticks.
Good?